Good afternoon, I'm Emily Wilson and here are today's top stories. West Yorkshire Police take on knife crime. A former BBC Look North presenter is facing a substantial tax bill, and hospital admissions for people with eating disorders are the highest in 6 years. First, West Yorkshire Police are preparing for a week of action with plans to tackle knife crime. The aim of the week is to raise awareness for the severe impact that knife crime can have on victims and their families. They will be running various activities within the community. Police cadets are also carrying out test purchases to find out if retailers are selling knives to under 18s.
We've had a whole range of knives. We've had pocket knives, sheath knives.
1 in 3 statistics, 1 in 3 teenagers carry knives. 25% of young people know a victim of knife crime, and 70% of people that carry a knife would have it used against themselves. So to keep ourselves safe, I think it's the community need to educate the young and the importance of how dangerous it is carrying knives, and sort of educating the young to try and prevent that happening.
A former BBC Look North presenter is facing a substantial tax bill after losing a legal battle with HM Revenue and Customs. Krista Ackroyd and HMRC were in dispute over the nature of her contract with the BBC. A tax tribunal has now ruled that she owes nearly £420,000. She's claimed the figure was only around £207,000. More than 100 BBC presenters who are employed via personal service companies are being investigated. Hospital admissions for eating disorders are at a 6-year high according to the latest NHS figures. Our reporter Majid Mir has more.
Almost 14,000 people have had to be given inpatient treatment for life-threatening conditions like anorexia and bulimia between April 2016 and 2017. This figure has almost doubled in the last 6 years. I want to try and find out why this is the case. So I'm here standing outside the Department of Health and Nutrition, here at the University of Huddersfield, to try and find out what might be causing this increase and to see what advice they could offer to the patients with this condition.
I feel, especially with the growing population of on social media, I feel like it gives a unrealistic representation of the health and fitness industry in general, really. Obviously for a lot of like teenage girls and males, there's a lot of body dysmorphia and anorexia. It's also linked to bulimia and things like that, in order to reach the obtainable image that a lot of celebrities and things that they may push a certain product in order to obtain this.
What advice would you give to people that's suffering from this condition?
So I've worked with 1 or 2 bulimics and anorexic patients, and one of the first steps is to try reduce the time on social media, and especially the fitness and industry pages sort of thing. This is just to help with the mental well-being more than anything, obviously to allow them to recover mentally and physically, and then just to get a better relationship with food again.
People like Emmy, who have suffered from anorexia, have taken to YouTube and social media to share their stories. However, it's believed that pressures online from these sites and apps may be a leading cause to the increase in cases. Experts say that 40 to 60% of patients claim that their condition has been worsened by social media. To see if you agree, we took to the streets.
I know a lot of people who touch up photos and they're always desperate to look different to how they actually are, so I suppose it gives the sort of warped view if that's all you see.
I think in some ways, yeah, because you see a lot of edited photos and unrealistic body figures and stuff like that online, and I guess young people, it has an effect on them.
It always portrays like everyone being really slim or everyone being really healthy, so everyone wants to try and be exactly the same as everyone else.
It's no surprise that due to ever-growing media platforms, young people do feel inclined. With filters, airbrush tools and all these super diet trends, social media could in fact be a huge contributing factor. This is Majid Mir, Hud News.
The University of Huddersfield is hosting a creativity conference today at the Lawrence Batley Theatre. The Rota programme has been running for over 5 years, and this year is the finale, and it's being held at the Lawrence Batley Theatre. The Culture Community Creativity Conference features showcases from a variety of artists, designers and curators. The event hopes to encourage local residents to think about the importance of cultural democracy in our area.
I'm representing Kirklees Museums and Galleries, and we're part of the Rota Partnership. So we've been working with the university at Huddersfield Art Gallery, creating some fabulous work, and we just want to see where all of that work can go, you know, and how we can support the whole community in Huddersfield, you know, the kind of wider creative community to achieve great things, because Huddersfield is fantastic.
Last week marked 100 years since the women got the vote, thanks to the suffragettes. The historic vote was passed in 1918 when the suffragettes campaigned for women's rights. We spoke to a historian to find out what life was like for women working in Huddersfield 100 years ago.
Huddersfield was an industrial town, had a huge industrial complex around the mills. Many women actually worked. So we think of Victorian and Edwardian women as being in the home, but in Huddersfield, many working women would have been in the mills doing overtime in the evening, and especially during the war. So in the First World War, Huddersfield produced a lot of the khaki used for uniforms, so there's huge amounts of overtime as the mill owners scrabbled for labour. So women were working. So it's hard to say there is one universal story about women.
2 weeks worth of celebrations have started today for Chinese New Year. It's the year of the dog, and the events are taking place across the world, with traditions going back hundreds of years. In our region, several Huddersfield Town players visited a local primary school to join youngsters preparing for their party. Chinese New Year is celebrated on a different date every year as it's based on the lunar calendar. It's also a holiday in many places across the globe.
Kids love it, and it's great. It's something different for them to be able to learn a little bit about the Chinese culture, and also to show Chris and Sean how to make a lantern and that. And I think they're showing them up a little bit. But this is what it's about, and the kids are loving it.
Back to the day job, and Huddersfield Town face football giants Manchester United tomorrow in the FA Cup. Midfielder Scott Malone shares his thoughts on the game.
Oh, they're a good side. They put you under lots of pressure. I think we've played a deep block against them twice now. Beat them at home and lost away. But it'd be interesting to see what we do Saturday. Obviously, there's no points to play for as such.
Keep going down. Okay. That's everything for today. Thanks for watching. Sorry about the technical difficulties we've been experiencing. Hope you enjoy your weekend. Goodbye.